My name is Matea. I'm 20 years old. I'm 24 weeks and 4 days pregnant, and it just seems like the closer I get to my due date, the more I freak out because I have no idea what to expect when it comes to birth and postpartum. So my question is, what should I expect and what should I pack in my hospital bag for myself, my husband, and the baby? Thanks.
I just want to start off by saying congratulations. Something you should bring to the hospital is definitely your charger. Maybe some word searches or something like that so you won't get bored. It's definitely something to bring the baby home in and something for pictures if you're going to take or get pictures done at the hospital. Your husband needs to definitely bring something comfortable as well. Maybe a pillow for his neck because they do not let the husbands out at the hospital. They're always sleeping on like the hard chairs. So definitely bring something for his neck so he can be comfortable. And experience itself, I think everybody's experience is different. Mine's included. I had a cesarean, so I did not push my baby out, but I was in labor for 15 hours. Yes, I said 15 hours. So everyone is different. Let's see how it goes.
Hey guys, so labor. I know for me, I wanted to know as little as possible as far as birth and labor. I had heard stories. Obviously, people tell you stories as you get more and more pregnant and closer to that day. But I didn't take any classes. I really tried not to read into it too much because I know personally that I just freak out. So I took it 1 week at a time. So I didn't even think that much about birth until like I was 8 months pregnant, because if I did, I would probably just be terrified for a good month and be on edge. So I tried really hard not to think too much about it.
Hi, moms. I'm filming this for the third time because the first 2 times that I filmed, I never hit record. So as far as the birth process and what happened during my birth, I had, in the scheme of things, a great birth. I pushed for 45 minutes. I had her. I didn't have to have a C-section. I had an epidural, which I begged for as soon as I could get it. I did. That would be my number one bit of advice, is to get the epidural as soon as you can. To the moms that deliver naturally, all the credit in the world to you. You're amazing. I could never.
For my first son, Dylan's birth, I was 40 weeks and 6 days when I gave birth to him. I worked up until 40 weeks and 1 day. I thought that that was going to help like induce labor because I have a job that required me to be like up, walking around, moving all over the place. I was still dancing with the kids at the daycare. I was, constantly trying to stay as active as I could for being 9 months pregnant. So when I was still pregnant at almost 41 weeks, I was like devastated. So I went in to get, to kind of start Pitocin and all of that kind of stuff and just be induced. I was not prepared to do that, but I wanted him out at this point. So I went in and they started with something called Cervidil, I think, or Cervidil, something like that. They literally stick it up there, and at this point I was not dilated or anything, so it just hurt like hell. And I remember the doctor being like, "Can you come back down on the bed?" And I was like, "You're trying to shove something up there and it's not working. Like, it really hurts." No, I can't. So anyway, so I did that for 12 hours and nothing happened. Nothing happened at all. So then they were like, "Okay, we're going to start Pitocin." And I remember my eyes getting like huge, like holy shit. I've heard horror stories about Pitocin and how it just vamps up labor and it can be really intense and overwhelming and very painful. So they did that. They started that, and every couple hours they would check on me, and they kept cranking up the Pitocin because nothing was working. And by the end of it, the nurse was like, "I can't give you any more. Like, you've maxed yourself out." So the doctor comes in, checks me, and they're like, "Okay, well, you haven't dropped, you haven't dilated, your water hasn't broken. We've done a majority of the things that we can do at this point, and being a week late, He's like, we can stop for the night. We can do this again tomorrow, or we can keep going, or we could just have a C-section. And I remember thinking, I know what's going to happen. I already know the outcome, so why am I going to keep doing this? So we opted for the C-section.
For my son, I was supposed to have a regular old pregnancy and a regular old delivery, but I didn't. I was diagnosed with preeclampsia and I was on bed rest at 6 months. And when I went to the hospital, because I was at high risk and my son was not gaining any weight because my blood pressure was sky high and I was spilling protein, in my urine, they decided to break my water. So when I went to the hospital, they broke my water and I was in labor for 15 hours. I was not dilating more than 7 centimeters, so they had to give me an emergency C-section. Now, when I went in for the C-section, I didn't know what to expect because, again, it was my first delivery. I didn't know what was going to happen, you know. But it went past really, really fast. It was really, really easy, but afterwards was a lot of pain. But once you get that baby in your arms, you don't care about nothing else. But I did have a lot of side effects from the medicine that they gave me. I was shaking a lot. First of all, after the cut and the cesarean, you cannot laugh without a pillow. So if you have anyone funny in your family, you tell them to leave the jokes at home because you are not able to laugh whatsoever. You need a pillow to hold you really, really tight. But other than that, it was perfectly fine. I got home within 4 days. After about a week, I think I was like fine. The pain had left. My daughter was a scheduled C-section, so I already knew what was going to happen. So I wasn't concerned about, oh no, I'm not sure what's going to happen. I'm kind of scared. I wasn't scared because I already knew what was going to happen. And the only difference is that I was not in labor for 15 hours. So I actually loved it. If you're not mistaken, I actually loved it.
I want to let everybody know that if you've never experienced a C-section, you should know that it is a lot very fast. I told my doctor, we're going to go with the C-section. And the second I said that, he walked out of the room and 3 nurses came at me. And my mom said my whole face was like, what's going on? They were giving me special medicine to stop me from being nauseous later. They were changing my outfit, getting my hair like in the thing, like everything. Then they were dragging me out into the OR. I mean, it was intense. I was not expecting that so quickly. I thought I had a half hour, maybe an hour to kind of prepare myself. I assumed they needed time to prepare everything. No, everything was ready to go. They were really just waiting for my okay. So they walked me in there and I just remember seeing just white. Everything was white. And I remember laying down and looking up and there was just like a light up there. It kind of felt like, I was in an alien abduction. Like that's kind of how it felt. I laid down and I just remember like seeing like the reflection of myself in some of the lights. I remember just a white room. And it was very overwhelming, and getting the spinal before my husband could come back into the room was scary. I was not allowed to have him there, so I like hugged my doctor. I was like, I need somebody to hug because I am just, I'm just so scared. But the C-section itself went really fast. I was laying there. They were like, do you feel this? No, I don't feel it. Do you feel anything now? No, I don't feel anything now. And then all of a sudden you feel a lot of pressure on your chest. And they do tell you that it might be hard to breathe for a second, and that's just them pushing, and then kind of pulling, getting the baby out. And I just remember hearing Dylan cry, and tears fell from my face, and my husband's too. And I was like, this was so worth it. I don't care how he comes. I just wanted a healthy baby, and that's exactly what I got. And my experience was not what I expected, but it was mine, and I am super proud of it. No matter what anybody says, C-section moms gave birth too. They may not have pushed them out, but let me tell you, going through surgery is just as crazy and just as amazing as giving birth naturally. So whatever happens to you, it's going to be your story, and you'll never forget it.
my best bit of advice for somebody getting ready to give birth, I remember how terrifying that was. Like, I had to do, my OBGYN made me take like a tour of the labor and delivery floor, and I had to go to the NICU in case, you know, the baby had to stay there. And just like the possibility of that, like, just blew my mind. I never even thought that the baby would have to be in the hospital, you know, like I wouldn't be leaving with my baby. So, you know, it's a lot of unpredictable factors. Again, my best advice would be just to keep in mind that the people that are there to help you, especially the nurses, their whole purpose in their choice of careers and what they do day in and day out is to ensure the safety of you and your baby. So trust the process. Know that things can change in an instant, but again, it's all to keep you and the baby safe. And I would just say, you know, everything will be okay. It always is. You've got a team of professionals around you. And again, people that do this day in and day out, that are good at their jobs. It never fails. The nurses on the labor and delivery floor are awesome everywhere. So wherever you deliver, you're going to be in great hands. And it'll just be, you know, 1 or 2 days of being in labor. It's over. Then you're recovering in the hospital. And then you get home, and then it's a whole nother series of issues and things to take care of with a newborn. So best of luck, moms. I promise you'll be in great hands. And yeah, good luck. Oh my gosh, I was not filming that entire time.